Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are the Seven of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with the Magician card in its reversal. This is really reiterating what I was stating before we started the podcast today, which is this is the best window of time to get something done between now and the next full moon cycle. Because you have to understand there's a few different, I'm going to walk you guys through what we're articulating is happening right now. If you have felt a little bit of an easement, we were talking about a little bit of that easement in yesterday's reading. One of the reasons you might be feeling a little bit more laid back right now, we're not feeling so energetically rushed, is the fact that while we had all of those planets over the last few weeks that have been retrograding in Aries, Saturn has moved out of Aries and back into Pisces. This is as a result of the retrograde. And it's actually, I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like it's energetically beneficial for us. Why is it potentially feeling energetically beneficial for us? Because one of the things that we understand and recognize is that those with Aries placements often come here to resolve and to heal their relationship to time. Aries comes here to fix their relationships with Saturn. This is often why you'll notice a tendency with those who have Aries placements to be rather clock obsessed. Okay? Now, one of the things we've been experiencing is we've got both of the planets that have a lot to do with the context of time that have been sitting in retrograde in Aries right now. And that is Neptune and Saturn. Now, why is this it's like brain fog central is the best way I can kind of define it. Because why? Because you have to understand Neptune serves as our memory bank. It is the energy by which we store information. It's where we hold our memories. Saturn is time moving forward. Okay. It's the march. It's a steady march forward of time. What have we had happening over the last few weeks? Not only are Neptune and Saturn in really close proximity to each other, which I wouldn't be surprised if you're like, did that already happen yet? Oh, is that already coming now? So you're having a hard time potentially placing things in time as it relates to like the past or the future. Okay. But they're also have been retrograding together in Aries, which can create a lot of the energetic anxiety as it relates to not having enough time or having a hard time energetically remembering things. Okay. And I like to describe it. If you've been going through this retrograde period feeling like it's the longest, time feels like it's both really long, but you don't have enough of it. Like that's exactly the type of vibe that we would expect with both of those planets in such close proximity, retrograding in Aries, which is why Saturn moving back into Pisces for a bit of time may feel a bit like an easement, because the thing is, Saturn does better. Like Saturn does a little bit better in Pisces right now because it creates more of a sense of flow. Okay. It's a flow state. It's like things feel like they're moving again. It's a lot more of a slippery kind of energy. So we've got Pisces, we got Saturn back in Pisces. So it could kind of feel like things kind of moving back into the normal flow of things. And to add to that, we've also got the fact that the moon right now is in Capricorn, and Capricorn moons, that's some productive stuff. That's some stuff that is like working through problems, just like nose to the grindstone kind of energy. So that's what I meant in terms of we got this nice little window between today and tomorrow where we have a bunch of this energy that may feel like a little bit of a reprieve or a little bit of an easement on the energetic intensity that we have been experiencing in the context of this retrograde cycle. That is going to change. The one thing we have to be conscientious about, and I wish I could say it's going to remain that way, but we have another retrograde that's coming prior to the full moon that we have coming up in Pisces, which is also going to be bringing about eclipse season. We have Uranus that is going into retrograde in a few days as well. Now, a lot of the space that we see that, and we've also got the moon going into Aquarius, it can create. We're gonna talk a bit about what a Uranus retrograde can indicate. But the thing is, the one thing about Uranus energy, and I like to sometimes associate it similar to what we experience with Platonic energy, is it's working through the process of transformation. It's working through the concept of change. It's working through the frustration of how difficult it is to change. So we want to make sure, and this is why I've been telling you guys to make sure that you feel very grounded and fortified right now, because one of the things that we often talk about is that eclipse cycles don't necessarily have a particular energetic vibe. There's no vibe that you can potentially strap on to an eclipse. Rather, eclipses are amplifiers. This is why they're unpredictable. They take on the characteristics and quality of the energy that we're experiencing at the moment that the eclipse occurs. So that ability of understanding that, working through that context. I'm going to say this again. If all you're doing right now is allowing yourself to feel energetically grounded, that is just fine. And if you're not, make sure that you're prioritizing that feeling of groundedness as we come into this lunation cycle. For energy, the one thing I will say is for energy in separation, energy moving into divine union, this energy is the most helpful. I would not be surprised if you tell me right now, in separation or moving into divine union, frustrated but fortified. Frustrated but fortified. Frustrated but fortified. This is the vibe. Why? We're going to talk about it. Energy and separation. I've got 3 different modalities right now. Center card for our reading today. World card in its reversal. Look at this. Look at these cards right now. We've started off with this 7 of Pentacles in its reversal. The Magician card in its reversal. The World card in its reversal. Frustrated but fortified. Frustrated but fortified for energy and separation. I do see a margin here of energy that is coming into energetic reconciliation. But I'm going to tell you exactly what that reconciliation looks like, because there's a very small slice of this that is going into reconciliation. I would not even be surprised if some of the reconciliation energy is due to another eclipse that we experienced, because the space by which time can heal something is when we bring an overabundance of emotions to a small situation. Something that was not a big deal that we had too many emotions upon. That's often something that time can help us heal on, because Saturn gives us the gift of perspective. So there could be a lot of energy. There is potentially some reconciliation that is occurring in these modalities via the overabundant emotionality that has been clarified or healed via the gift of time, which is the ability to have perspective upon things. What time cannot heal are situations or circumstances wherein we hold standards towards something that is energetically important. And that's why I said there may be some energy right now that is coming into some heavy closure of unhealthy cycles with the observation of someone who does not hold the same standards as the self. Because when we feel emotional about something that's energetically important, we often feel guilty for having those emotions, and time clarifies and fortifies the reason why we felt as strongly as we did. And then modalities wherein another person disappears or goes away and comes back expecting that time would dissolve the emotions because they weren't significant. There's a lot of the energy that may be going through the healing process of someone coming back and saying, have you stopped being emotional? And another person saying, I was never being emotional. I was being fundamental. And allowing that clarification of observation is allowing that space of clarity that is potentially allowing some energy in separation right now to let go and heal trauma with the understanding of what was occurring in a volatile or confusing situation. I also see here there are the energies that are moving into divine union right now. These are the culminations of those temperance partnerships, the observation of mutual effort. And for a lot of the energy right now, this could be a moment where they're revealing more of themselves to each other, potentially articulating the release and relief of situations or circumstances where they may have been predicating what they were healing from, but the retrograde bringing something from the past back to the present that is now fortifying them because it is not making them waver in relationality to the direction that they're heading in. And for some of these energies that have potentially been hurt in the past by disembodied manifestation goals, or someone who articulated that they were healing from something, but in fact they were waiting upon something, this is very reaffirming and reassuring, which is why we see, I told you, a lot of these relationships coming together right now, having very, very strong energetic foundations. This brings us to the energy moving deeper into divine union right now. You'll recall that these were a lot of those magician partnerships. For a lot of those magician partnerships that were coming together from between the solstice period up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. Next 2 cards in our 5-card spread for today. Ooh, we got 3 cards here. We're going to read all of them. We've got the, oh, look at that. We've got the, yep, these are more of the chirality conversations. We've got the 2 of Pentacles in combination with the 8 of Wands in combination with the Judgment card. More of the same that I'm seeing right now for the energy that's moving into divine union. I keep on hearing the same, this, not that. It's this, not that. Potentially having to, again, go through the frustration of unpacking a past where something looks similar to what they're doing now. The observation that sometimes something that we are doing that feels very nourishing can look like something that wasn't necessarily helpful to us. We saw that for a lot of these relationships, the expediency by which they're moving a relationship into deeper divine union. We saw even now potentially a lot of proposals or surprise energy that was occurring over the last few weeks, having to clarify to energy outside of partnership that those are not movements made from desperation as they may have in a time of the past when they were unhealed, but rather out of celebration, wanting to fortify something that has already happened. A lot of this energy working through the frustration and clearing the air, as you will, but doing so in a way that feels like it is, I keep on hearing, it's solidifying or stabilizing the energy outside of partnership. This brings us to a lot of the energy deep within divine union. And this is, again, just to show you that qualitatively, this energy is most frustrating for the energy deep within divine union, because we've been articulating upon the fact that the frustration that fortifies may feel very grounding and stabilizing for energy that is coming into divine union and energy in separation, but it's not necessarily as helpful for the energy deep within divine union. Clarification between our 7 of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our Magician card in its reversal. 1 card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now with the Ace of Pentacles. So for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, this is just working. I keep on saying it's working on being consistent and comprehensive during a time that may feel like it's very triggering to the insecurities of the self. For a lot of the energy right now, this retrograde energy for energy deep within divine union can feel, I feel like it's like the assault of the minor inconveniences. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like the assault of the minor inconveniences. It's all of these like little things, right? That's what we see with energy in, with all these energies, like retrograding in Aries. It's just like a little, it's like, what's wrong? Nothing. Just a million little things all at once. It's just like, it's like a little bit of like that type of energy, and it wears on you. And the problem with this energy right now is this is a very, very, very long retrograde cycle. And the thing is, like, it tests our own perseverance as it relates to our energetic patience. But that's why we keep on seeing that one of the big things that's happening right now for a lot of the energy deep within divine union is being able to kind of translate or continue to carry over the lessons of this recent full moon into the partnership, which is when, and again, the problem about this energy is it's kind of needling. Right? The Virgo energy, right? Like a lot, and no, like those with Virgo placements often have to work through this, right? Because they have to understand that we came into this Virgo energy, we came into Virgo season, Virgo new moon, and then to add to it right now, Mercury just went into Virgo. So the thing with Virgo energy that we often have to work through is Virgos often come here to heal their relationship to perfection, understanding that perfection is not something that you can find on a map. It's something that you have to create. It's not looking for the perfect experience. It's working with what you have to make it exceptional. So for a lot of the energy right now, the thing about this type of energy, the reason I describe it as needling is because there is an intensity to it that it's like the desire to over internalize And this type of energy has never been stronger. But when the energy is in partnership, and this is the gift that some of the energy allows for deep within divine union, so long as we're not projecting that over internalization on counterpart, it allows the energy of being able to not get intense and get overly focused on something, but to build into the context of having energetic perspective, being able to step back. And that's why I keep on saying, be wary of hermit mode right now. And I want to keep saying that because typically the hermit card does not come out very frequently in my readings, but it's been popping up like crazy right now because there's a lot of that internalization that we see that is prone in this type of energetic frequency. Continuing to get clarification between our Magician card in its reversal and the World card in its reversal, we've got here the Page of Cups in its reversal. So this is like, I want to describe this right now as it feels like it's giving a lot of like chop kind of energy. It's giving a lot of like getting back to a space of productivity. And again, given the fact that we recognized and identified the fact that that Saturn has moved back into Pisces, that's like a little bit of that. Like I almost feel like it's helping clear up a little bit of that jam up that we've been experiencing with all of those planets in Aries, right? Like the ability to kind of move something forward. It may feel more energetically productive right now because Pisces is often the energy of flow state. So the ability of having Saturn moving back into Pisces could feel like things are starting to move a little bit more with a little bit more easement, even with the fact that Saturn is still in retrograde in Pisces and it's going to be there till about November. The one thing we have to be conscientious about, now that's what I meant, for a lot of these relationships right now, like I keep on seeing there's a few different things that are happening in separation. And I'm going to tell you right now, exasperation is healing. And why is exasperation healing? Because exasperation is not devastation. It's not the wondering why something isn't happening. It's having full clarity on something. It's being able to articulate and define what is energetically missing in circumstances or scenarios. This is why I see for energy and separation right now, there's a little bit of this like hands on the hip energy that may be happening as it relates to situations or circumstances from the past coming back towards the person in the present. Because I keep on hearing it's a continuation of the same lesson, which is the understanding that the only thing that time heals in relationality to putting distance to things is when someone brings too much of an overabundance of emotion to something that was not important. The ability to bring back the gift of perspective is the only thing potentially stabilizing relationships from the past right now. But what I see a lot of is potentially a situation or circumstance where someone felt like they could wait out another person's emotionality. And you can't, I keep on hearing, you don't wait out another person's emotionality where standards are, because distance does not create, those are relationships that aren't healthy because they're built on desperation. They're built on longing. It's not the robust reunion that allows one to go back to square one and restart something. It's the progress by which you understand the hurdle that created a limitation point that allows something to move forward to where another has aspirations of manifestation goals. And that's why I see even now, I see like a little bit of the energy in separation, not having tolerance to situations or circumstances where another person is coming towards them during this retrograde period and only talking about the desperation of missing someone. Because I keep on hearing missing doesn't fix things. Missing is not the situation by which someone fixed something. Longing does not heal. So I keep on seeing that a lot of the energy is putting the longing to heal, which is the space by which they say the longing isn't going to be able to energetically fix something. Often it is the energy that is trying to create a buildup of emotionality to allow something to progress in the direction that wasn't necessarily energetically healthy. So I see even now that there's a lot of that work that's happening in relationality to potentially having conversations with someone or articulating upon exactly what the energetic concern is, or what the energetic, the hustle, like what I keep on hearing, what the hurdle is. Like I keep on hearing the space by which we understand that our standards are not hurdles is the space by which we recognize we hold the same standards. And this is why I keep on seeing, if there's somebody saying, why are you creating a hurdle? And another person saying, I don't have a hurdle, it's a standard. It's the observation of that being indicative of two different people that have different standards. And that's what I meant about the resolution of trauma, because the space by which another person was feeling traumatized because someone left at the point that they were holding an energetic standard, and then they come back and say, is that hurdle gone? That's the energy goes, aha. We have different standards. You don't see my standard as a standard. You see it as a hurdle to be overcome. And this brings us to a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now, which is the energy of, again, working through the lesson that healthy relationship, we don't see each other's standards as hurdles. We hold them as precious. We hold them in the same way that we respectively identify them. We hold them in a space of honor. This is why we even talk about this from warrior energy. When you're going into energetic battle, what do? You hold each other's standards, right? It is an honor to hold each other's standards, because that is the space by which we build into the context of trust. So this is what I see for a lot of these temperance relationships that are coming into partnership right now. They're looking towards one another and saying, I don't see that standard that you're articulating to me as a hurdle, because I share it and I honor it, and it is an honor to hold it for you. This brings us to a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine union. Those magician partnerships that we spoke about that were happening from about the time of the solstice period up until the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune. Clarification between our world card in its reversal and our Eight of Wands in combination with our Two of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify, please. Clarification coming through right now. Justice card in its reversal. This is going to be the Uranus. This is Uranus going into retrograde right here. It's work. I keep on hearing it's working through the determination of what is healthy static versus non-healthy static. What is the difference between healthy static and non-healthy static? I told you even now, for a lot of these energies that are moving into divine union, the fact that they're doing it with expediency, the fact that they're moving through something at a fast clip, it's not, I keep on hearing, it's not, speed is not unhealthy. So long as there's the right energetic reason for the speed. And that's what I keep on hearing that's happening right now. I told you Mercury just went into Virgo. I'm not surprised to see this. What's the rush? So there's a lot of the energy right now that is potentially articulating to energy outside of partnership, the difference between the rush that they may have experienced in the past, where they were feeling a desperation or fear of losing a relationship, thereby feeling that they had to rush an energetic process of trying to move it deeper into partnership, versus the excitement that they may be feeling on something that there's nothing wrong. It's not the rush. It's not the rush trying to create balance that doesn't exist. It's the rush that announces that the balance has been fulfilled. The balance has been fulfilled. So it's a lot of that type of energy, and I'm working through that. I keep on seeing it's like having to talk about the past. And I keep on seeing like having to navigate some cringe in doing so, having to talk about with a little bit of energetic discomfort. I keep on seeing for some of that energy, like would rather not unpack it. Like here comes the retrograde, right? But they're happy to do so to help clarify the energetic difference between this and that. While for a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now, yeah, Three of Pentacles trying to be productive in less than ideal energy. I do feel like this is like, I told you, this is like the retrograde, the retrograde in Aries is the slings and arrows of a million little tiny minor inconveniences. And not letting it get under your skin, not letting it get the best of you, just kind of working through it. And I keep on seeing it now, like a lot of this energy. And again, I do feel like, again, Saturn moving into Pisces is helping with that to a certain extent, because and I like to point this out, for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, it's just, I feel like it's interesting too, because I want to describe it best as it feels like it feels like the strength and the patience is strengthened with perseverance, is the best way I can describe it. Patience is strength. And I know that there are people who are like hissing at me for saying that right now. Listen, I'm just reporting the news, okay? But it's helping us understand. It's helping us work through that to a certain extent, right? And here's the thing about it. Like often when we feel energetically frustrated, it's allowing the frustration to be moved into a space that we become, and that's what patience is. You have to understand, patience is not waiting. Patience is being productive and expanding in the process of waiting. So that's what I meant in terms of the energy becoming more comprehensive during this energetic period, because it's not the space by which you wait upon something. It's the space by which you continue to just kind of like shrug it off and expand, like just continue. I keep on hearing like it's just like it's a lot of that work in terms of the expansion of the self. The hard part with this energy for Deep Within Divine Union is all of this Virgo energy. There's a deep tendency to want to over internalize upon things. I'm going to say it again. Don't be over internalizing in energy like this. I'm trying to save you from a reading. Don't be assuming things. Don't be assuming intention. Don't be internalizing. Don't be projecting. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want you coming to me for a reading after this and saying I made myself look pretty foolish. As I said that, I have to pull these cards out because I mean I was about to put like we've got a bunch of cards that just came out for clarification. This is exactly what this makes perfect sense. So clarification that we have right now between our Ace of Pentacles and our Page of Cups in reversal, a ton of cards just flew out of the deck. I'm going to read all of them, but I'm going to give you kind of the gist of them because there's a lot here. And the reason I keep on seeing, and this is continuing to articulate upon making sure you are grounded right now. Okay? I want you grounded right. I want everybody grounded right now in whatever way helps you feel energetically grounded, because the next 2 days, right? I like to see this right now. The next 2 days are going to feel like a little bit of an easement point, going to feel like a little bit of a reprieve, right? We've got the moon in Capricorn. That's productive. Saturn has just moved back into Pisces. Things moving with a little bit more, like there's a little bit more slip and helping things move through, or helping moving things in like a way that feels energetically productive. In a couple days, we've got Uranus that goes into retrograde, and then boom, we've got the eclipse season starting with the eclipse in the full moon eclipse in Pisces. So I'm not saying that that's necessarily a negative thing, but you have to understand that eclipse cycles intensify things. So what you want to make sure, don't be procrastinating. Don't be procrastinating and being like, I'll do it during the eclipse season. Okay. Trust me, okay? Because there's going to be a lot. Like, look at it. It's a lot. Like this is the vibe of the eclipse, right? Potentially a lot of this, like everything kind of hitting at once kind of energy. So just allow yourself, like I keep on hearing, allow yourself the space to make sure that you're entering the eclipse in a place of energetic comfort, is what I keep on seeing. Okay. Make sure that you're pacing. This is a good type of energy to make sure that you're pacing yourself, as it were. Okay. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Justice card in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Yep. Oh, I like it. Yep. You got Ace of Cups in its reversal too. Okay. And that's why I'm going to say this again. If you are feeling overwhelmed right now, if you are feeling energetically overwhelmed right now, that's your business to fix right now. That is your priority. Okay? That is your energetic priority, to make sure that you are in an energetically stable place. Okay? And I keep on seeing, because a lot of that, and I want you to understand this. Pisces full moons can bring up a lot of emotionality. Okay. I get very wary when I got to tell you, I get very wary when I see Aquarian full moons. I get very wary when I see Piscean full moons, because they can sometimes create the space of getting energetically carried away on things. Okay. With Aquarian energy, Aquarian full moons, like the desire to disassociate. For Piscean ones, the space of allowing oneself to feel energetically overwhelmed. So I want you, if you're working through that overwhelm, allow the frustration to move it into spaces that feel like it's energetically productive and effective, right? Allow for it to be like the overwhelm. Allow it to be the overwhelm that you get a lot of things done or you work towards things, right? This is a good time to like build those lists. Now, for a lot of the energy, I got to tell you right now, I'm seeing even now that the relationships coming together, this is the culmination of a lot of those temperance relationships that we see that are coming together right now. And what's nice, I got to tell you, what's nice about these temperance relationships, they don't rely on sentiment to fortify or to confound direction. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of relationships that are coming together right now that feel that they were wounded by sentiment. These are some relationships. There are some individuals right now I see coming into divine union that are carrying wounds caused by sentiment. And what do we mean by wounds caused by sentiment? The observation of experiences where they felt like they were moving in one direction with someone, but then something from the past comes back and another person runs in the direction of the past instead of what is ahead with them. And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships, being able to articulate and define the release and relief that they are expressing in not only going into that progress of talking towards what it is that they're healing from, but then having to potentially go through the experience of the past resurfacing during this retrograde period. And again, what was the defining factor of a lot of these temperance relationships? Having good direction sense. Not allowing their direction to be impacted by sentiment, which is why I told you again, if these are experiences where someone's coming back, even as someone's coming in, moving into something that's for them and trying to articulate upon talking sentimentally about a past that they've been working on healing from, or trying to articulate upon the fact that they miss someone instead of talking about the work to be done, there's a lot of energy that's just moving in the direction of where they define and recognize their clarity and letting that sentiment fortify their energetic intention, even in the space that it may frustrate or aggravate them. Continuing to get clarification between our Justice card in its reversal in combination with our Three of Pentacles in its reversal. And this is where the frustration moves into the energy that's moving deeper into partnership. Clarification between our Justice card in its reversal and our Three of Pentacles. We've got here the Empress card in its reversal. And you'll recall we saw this card yesterday. If this card looks familiar, we saw the Empress card yesterday in its reversal. Now, what was interesting about yesterday's read is we had the High Priestess in its reversal in combination with the Empress card in its reversal. Now, those are some two very interesting cards to be appearing in our readings in their reversal. And it is the energy that we're experiencing right now is having a different impact on masculine and feminine energy. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. I'm going to tell you right now, there is a lot of alignment that is occurring right now for masculine and feminine energy. And it has a lot to do with working through the concept of working through one's healing journey. Where do we find masculine today? Magician in its reversal. That's not necessarily a negative thing given the cards that we see surrounding that energy. Where do we see the feminine? Empress in its reversal. Remember when I said that this energy, a lot of this Virgo energy creates a lot of over internalization or feeling a lot, potentially not feeling like one is at their best or feeling hypercritical about the self. Okay. We're going through a retrograde with a lot of energy in Virgo right now. And that can sometimes make us get very, very touchy in relationality to feelings about our own perfection, right? I would not be surprised right now if you find yourself being like really, really discerning or really, really energetically picky. This is something that those with Virgo placements sometimes have to heal, understanding that perfection is not a location. It's something that we work towards, and not allowing our sense of perfection to get in the way of getting something energetically done, right? Now, for masculine and feminine energy, as I said, the energy that's coming into divine union, this is the energy, the energy moving into partnership that is articulating with relief and release in relationality to experiencing situations or circumstances where there may have been carrying some kind of fear in relationality to someone being able to embody the manifestation goal that they were effectively articulating that they desired. And a lot of that is being released as they move deeper into partnership. I see even now, this is the energy. If these are the relationships, they're the individuals in separation, working through the space of, I keep on hearing, there's none of this like build up energy. There's none of this buildup of energy being like, I feel like if these are situations where someone's trying to come to separation, being like, aren't you glad to see me? I keep on hearing like expecting someone to like throw themselves into another's arms. This is the energy. Look at this, masculine and feminine being like, no, like, no. But I remember when I said this is the year that we honor our no. It's the no that says that the ability of building up anticipation by absence is not romantic. It's energetically tragic because it doesn't fix anything. It allows one to avoid the work trying to move into the space of building. I keep on hearing building a lot of that passion that doesn't fix something, but often just allows something to start again exactly in the same modality by which it was broken in the first place. So that's why we keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, making the space of seeing something from the past arriving, even potentially feeling the energetic temptation of moving into something that wasn't energetically healthy for the self. What is the energy saying to one another in separation? I'm making better choices. I'm making healthier choices. I'm making choices that support the manifestation goal. And that's why we see even now that there's potentially for a lot of that energy in separation, a lot of energy that is going through the modality of understanding. And I keep on hearing the energy say, it's not too much to ask for a relationship that holds our manifestation with the same preciousness that we ourselves hold it. That is the definition of energetic alignment, right? It's not the space by which one says, if you just get rid of that pesky manifestation goal, everything would be fine between us. That's a lot of the energy that is articulating their healing journey, being one that it articulates and says, a healthy relationship does not require one to abandon one's manifestation in order to move closer towards it. This brings us to a lot of the energy coming into divine union right now. I'm just going to kind of talk about this, all of these cards here that we have. I feel like I'm just going to describe the cluster of cards here, which is identifying the eclipse cluster, if you will. That's what I'm going to call that. We've got the eclipse cluster here in combination with our Ace of Cups in its reversal. Can I please get one card to clarify? Yeah, this is the thing for the energy coming into divine union right now. Like, I see this energy being in a space where they would really rather not rehash the past, is what I keep on seeing. And what's beautiful about that is I almost feel like there's something kind of magnificent that's happening right now for some of those magician partnerships that are feeling like they're in a position where they have to unpack the past for energy outside of partnership to help qualify the difference between something that wasn't positive for them versus where they find themselves now. I keep on hearing the energy that's articulating and almost experiencing the fact that it doesn't hurt anymore to talk about it. It's almost like I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that energy that is even in the process of talking about something. I keep on seeing if this is energy that used to enjoy dwelling on the space, like if this was all they used to talk about, was some kind of past experience, even in the context that they're feeling an energetic aversion to talking about something, like a little bit of that, I feel like they've gotten the ick in talking about a past that they'd rather move away from. And they're even in the moment of recognizing that, recounting moments where it was all they wanted to talk about. It was consuming every single moment. So even here, I feel like there's something that is very affirming and healing, even as they're talking about something that they'd rather move away from, in the observation of how far they have energetically come. This brings us to a lot of the energy that's deep within divine union, clarification between our Ace of Cups we got a transverse, in combination with our Empress card in its reversal, Devil card in its transverse. We like to see a Devil card in its transverse. So this is what I meant in relationality to this energy. It's not necessarily as helpful right now for the energy deep within divine union, so much as it feels like it's probably requiring you to have patience in spaces or places that feels like it is unnecessary to have to hold so much patience towards, is what I keep on seeing. This is giving to me, like, I keep on hearing for something about the energy deep within divine union. It's like the attack of the minor inconveniences. It's like just a bunch of little things piling up and needling away at you with all of this energy right now. They can just get under your nerves or get under your skin and just makes you feel very, very like snappy. But that's why I keep on saying that a lot of the work that the energy is doing right now, deep within divine union, is building into the context of strengthening patience, because they're not letting those frustrations get the better of them or potentially projecting them out onto counterpart. Final card between our Three of Swords in its upright, in combination with our Devil card in its transverse. Final card for today's reading. Okay, we've got here, this is nice. Look at this. We've got our Nine of Pentacles. Love to see this card culminating our reading today. And when you have a chance, if you're listening to the podcast, I would strongly encourage you to go take a look at today's spread, because it's an anomalous spread. This is what I would define as an anomalous spread. Sometimes I do spreads that have profound amount of balance. This spread is not balanced. It is anomaly. It is anomaly. This is anomaly. This is the best description of an anomaly spread that I could probably give you, like symbolically, in terms of what we're seeing. And I feel like the thing that we recognize and identify has to do, and I told you, like, one of the big things you have to work on recognizing and doing right now is not over internalizing this type of energy. It's weird. It's just weird energy. I'm just going to, like, it's okay to just describe something as energetically weird. I'm going to tell you right now, with Uranus going in retrograde, it's going to get even weirder. Okay. We've got a lot of, you have to understand, this is going to be an anomalous eclipse. Why am I identifying it as an anomalous eclipse? Because here we go. Ready? Eclipses are typically anomalies. We identify eclipse as an anomaly. Okay. So we've got an eclipse happening. Anomaly number one. Second thing, we're going into the eclipse with a profound amount of planets in retrograde. That is anomaly number two. Okay. So we've got the retrograde. We got a giant retrograde season with a ton of planets in retrograde. Anomaly number one. We've got the eclipse happening, which is anomaly number two. And then we've got, on top of all of this right now, there, you know, even I want to say, even in the context of working through the factor that we're working into that space, and even as we're entering it, there is another planet that is going to, and then we've also got the fact that, like, we've got Saturn that keeps on going back and forth in and out of Pisces, right? There's a lot of different anomalies that are happening right now. And so there's just vibrations of understanding that you're going through weird energy. And when you go through weird energy, you're going to feel a little weird. Like, the work of making sure that you're not over internalizing on that weirdness right now is going to help ground you to a certain extent. But the reason that, on top of that, the other anomaly that we're experiencing is we are in Virgo season, okay, with Mercury in Virgo, as we navigated that new moon in Virgo. So there's an overabundance of Virgo energy that we're also entering into this experience with. And the thing with the Virgo energy is, Virgos, I care about you guys deeply. I got a lot of Virgo placements myself. Weird does not match perfect. Weird often does not feel like it jives well with perfect, right? It's like working through the context of potentially experiencing something and being like, this is not what I expected. This is not what I was expecting. But that's a reminder of understanding that perfection is not found. It is something that we make. And this is often what those with Virgo placements have to work through, because when Virgos start to heal, they stop feeling like they're judging themselves and everybody around them, but they're making everything exceptional because they're taking what they have and making it like absolutely amazing. So I want you to kind of think about working like it's giving me a little like I got to tell you, you got to kind of gun it right now. You just got to work with it. it's really, it's kind of that vibe. It's like, make it work. Okay. Like that's the energy that you need to kind of bring into this energetic eclipse cycle in whatever way, shape, or form work means for you. Bottom of the deck on this reading is the Hangman energy. So the thing about this retro, okay, there's another anomaly that's happening right now. It has to do with the duration of time that these retrograde cycles are occurring. You have to understand, because the problem with it is the retrogrades, it's not like there wasn't like a switch that got hit and then all the planets went into retrograde. It's like it was one and then the other and then the other and then the other. I can't even tell you how many people have asked me over the last few weeks, when is this over? And I'm like, slowly. The answer is, when is this over? Like, when is this retrograde period over? It's going to be, it was slow to form and it's going to be slow to resolve. So that ability of understanding and working through the energetic slowness of often these retrograde cycles that we don't necessarily usually have for such an extended length of time, right? Like, I want you to make sure that you're not feeling like you're operating through this retrograde like you're holding your breath. I want you working more in the space of just inhabiting it, embodying it, getting energetically used to it, but most importantly, not overly internalizing upon it. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and receiving these messages. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do so on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you would like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent class on the Tower card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Star card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. It's not necessary to catch up. I'll be doing my best to give you an update on everything we've studied thus far prior to beginning the next class. But if you wanted to catch up, it's a great time to join because you've got a few weeks to be able to bone up on some of those classes before we start the next one. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my stack, not only will you receive a discount on the whole year's worth of classes, you will also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library class archive. That is access to over 17 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified to my Mystic Meditation articles coming out. I'll be releasing one shortly on navigating this full moon that we're experiencing or coming into in this lunar eclipse cycle. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very, very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I am very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again